What's up, everyone? We're excited to bring you this week's edition of the Weekend Warriors podcast with your hosts Kobe, Gunner, and Dominic, where we discuss a range of topics related to health, fitness, bodybuilding, and powerlifting, as well as a few other seemingly random topics that may pique our interest. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy the show. And we're recording. Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast, everyone. We got a special one in tune for you today. We're going to talk about social media. It'll be a little more candid conversation between all of us, so we're going to see how it goes, and we'll tell about our experiences and everything with it, and everything that comes along with the good, the bad, and the ugly side of social media. But first, I'm going to go round table and ask everybody how their week's been. Dom?
Yo, what's up? My week's been pretty good. I had drill this weekend. A pretty sad weekend, honestly. Pray for Amory. And yeah, it's been a good week, though.
Hey, go into the storm that happened this weekend in our area. There's a massive EF4 tornado that traveled, 120 miles across the state of Mississippi?
Yep.
And destroyed so much shit. And North Amory got hit the worst, and a few other small towns. And there were, like, record number of casualties in the storm. So, keep your prayers up for them, and hope they rebuild soon. And honestly, I do want to say, like, thanks to people like Dom, who do go out there and do their best to try to rebuild the community, because there's a lot of places in the world that don't have stuff like that, and it's real nice to see whenever a community can be helped to be rebuilt through some disaster like that. Gunner, how's your weekend been, or your last week that you've been gone?
It's been good. You know, I've had every workout. I actually got to make it to the gym. Didn't have to skip the gym any last week, so that was nice. The only day, like I guess y'all already mentioned it, you know, Saturday night and Sunday night was pretty rough with the storms, but I'm thankful that I'm here and I'm healthy. It's unfortunate, you know, for the people who lost their lives, people that lost their family. So yeah, prayers out to them. But as far as training goes, it's been a pretty good week.
It's good. As far as my training has been this past week, took Saturday and Sunday off completely. I feel like I was going through like a little burnout phase, so I took those days off, but got back into it today. I weighed myself on my cut Saturday, by the way, and I'm down to 242, so that's some progress there. And today hit arms pretty crazy. Gunnar, I was talking to you earlier about the 10x10 German volume training.
You did that?
Yeah, that's what I did today for arms, bro. I did like rope curls 10x10, then did like I haven't done barbell curls in forever because I usually hurt my wrist, but I was like, fuck it, I'll do them today. I went with them, bro. I had a crazy arm pump, like veins going horizontally and vertically up my biceps. So I was pretty happy with that. So yeah, I guess we can move on to the actual topic of conversation today and discuss social media. I really don't even know where to start with this. We're like going pretty off rip with it. I was gonna look up some studies and look up some articles and websites about it, and I probably will, but I would like to get into I guess our own, what's I guess the word to use is testimonial with social media, our own little testimonial we've had with social media, because we've all at least tried to, I have tried, and I know Gunnar have tried to be a social media influencer, and once you do that for so long, that kind of stuff gets to you, like it gets you in your head. And I'd like to kind of go round table and discuss, so people don't feel like they're the only ones going through this kind of stuff, because they're not. And I guess Dom, since you kind of are in that phase of you want to do the whole social media thing, I'd be dope for you to talk about it first. Since
all right. Well, with my journey right now that I'm doing it right now, it's just really staying on social media all the time. Like, I get tired of doing that. I ain't gonna lie to you. So it really is like time consuming, and you just feel like you're wasting your time. And also, like, sometimes you may feel like you're doing it for no reason. Because, like, you get very little followers, very little likes, views, comments, stuff like that. But you see, like, some other people getting, like, a crazy amount of likes and comments and views and all that. And obviously that stuff gets to you. It gets in your head. You just wondering what you're doing wrong.
Exactly.
But one, I guess, a bad thing also is, like, you're just scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, or any other social media. You see how good they look. You see, like, or not just like generally, like also like successful people, like how they're exceeding in life. That gets to you. It just makes you, like, I guess, a little insecure, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And you're wondering, like, no wonder these people are, like, so famous or getting so many followers, because they look good, they're doing good, they're doing crazy stuff. But also, one good thing about that is, like, it makes you want to grind even more. Because that's me. Like, I'll be scrolling through, like, Instagram Reels just to get sound for, like, my videos, and I just look at the videos. Like, I do get the insecure part. I'll be like, man, I can't wait to cut, or I can't wait to be that big and stuff like that. But then when I'm at the gym and thinking about that, I go crazy. Like, I actually grind my butt off when I think about that stuff. So, or when I go through social media. That's my opinion on it. There is good and bad, but there is a lot of bad, like, mentally, though, and that's not really healthy. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Okay. I mean, I see exactly what you're saying. The whole influencer thing, and, like, feeling like you have to post, and you have to do this, and you have to do these hashtags, and you have to do the right editing, and have to get the followers and the likes so you can get in the algorithm and get the comments, and hopefully one day you'll get the sponsorship, and so maybe somebody will DM you eventually and, like, notice you. Bro, I've been there. Like, I've been right there, and it's super draining. It is so draining, like, mentally, when, I don't know, I'll wait to get into it, but I like No, go ahead.
And you start getting a little bit of hope too, because, like, I usually, like, that one time Yoga Lay liked one of my pictures, and I was like, Kobe, oh my god, like, I was so excited. You get that little bit of hope, but in reality, they just, I'm pretty sure they do it to everyone, and, like, it's just stupid. I enjoy doing it. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like it's like a progress type thing. Like, you see where you started, and then you just see, like, how hard you actually work.
Yeah, I agree. I'll get back into the whole journaling aspect of social media, which is kind of how I've turned my use of it around. But I want Gunner to get into how he was with social media, if you don't mind.
No, I mean, obviously y'all know, so I've been off social media until starting the Weekend Warriors Instagram for, like, all of 2023. Honestly, I got too overwhelmed in it, and I was too much negativity into my life at the time, looking at what people was posting, keeping up with people who I most certainly shouldn't have been keeping up with. It's just, like, for me, it's a lot healthier to not have it at the moment. It does absolutely provide motivation. It 100% can be a good thing. It can be a good tool to use to promote yourself. But for me, I was too busy being caught up in the, like, trying to get noticed, or trying to, like, I guess you would say, get sponsorships, which at the time and at the state of my physique was never going to happen. So it just came really to a point of where I wanted to focus on myself more than I was focusing on the social aspect. Because it's like, if I don't have anything like, so as a bodybuilder, if my physique is not to the standard where I can even promote it to expect people to want to follow and listen to what I have to say, then to me, that's just time being wasted where I could be putting it into myself to better myself for when I do get ready to get back on social media again. So to me, if I can leave it for a while, come back to it better, bigger, stronger, smarter, you know, and have a better way to present myself and the podcast to a community of people, then I'll revisit it again one day. But as of right now, as far as an individualistic social media, I still probably won't have one for a while, just because it's been so much more, I guess you would say, it's been way less anxious and way less stressful. Because one, I'm never thinking about any other people. I'm only ever thinking about, I guess, as Andrew Tate would say, the real world and what's happening like right now. And I think that's by far the healthiest way for me right now to approach life, is what's happening right now and what's happening right in front of me, versus all these dreams and aspirations that I have. It's like, how am I ever going to reach those if I can't even focus, you know, on the right now? I guess that's just my way of looking at it.
That's a good way to look at it. You gotta have a healthy relationship with it. Like, it takes time, and I'm older than these guys. I'm older than both of you by like, what, 5 years?
Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. And I've had social media, like Instagram, since I was 16 or 17. And I've been using social media since I was in middle school. So I've had a lot of experience with it over time. And up until maybe the age of 20, 21 or 22, I started realizing that, like, I did have an unhealthy, like, situation going on with social media, because in my mind, subconsciously, I'm always comparing myself to these people, even if it's not celebrities, even like people that I knew personally. I'd be like, okay, well, these people are always going to do stuff, or they're getting out, or they have a girlfriend, or they're getting all these likes and all this other stuff. Like, that stuff, if you're not like right with yourself, and most teenagers aren't, if you're not right with yourself, you will absolutely get in your head about it. And I was at a point, at one time, I may have been like 18 or 19, where it was like, I couldn't have social media at all. Like, personally, I could not have social media at all, because I would get so caught up about it. And I finally got past the point where I realized that social media is truly just a facade. You only see the best part of everybody's life. That's it. You don't see the bad stuff. You don't see the struggles or anything like that. You only see the best part. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that is great that people share their favorite parts of their lives. That's awesome. That's what social media probably should be for. But at the same time, you have to manage your expectations of your own life and understand that you are not these people. Like Gunnar said, you have to live your own life and worry about your own life and your own world that you have, and not worry about this whole weird Matrix-like fake Instagram stuff where everything is just images on a screen and numbers. Like, that's it. That's all it is. Like, this is not real life. And that kind of brought me to the point of, like, when I wanted to do the whole social media influencer thing. That was like around the time I finally lost the rest of my weight, around the age of 20. I was 23 maybe when I finally got down to, like, quote unquote, the weight I wanted to be at. And I was like, you know what, like, everybody in the gym is gassing me up, telling me I should I should do the social media thing. It's like, bro, you'll blow up, you'll do this and do that. And I did it for like 2 months, and it's like, bro, it's just not worth it. Like, you have to dedicate so much of your life to being sure you have your image out there and your best pictures and your editing. It's just bullshit. It's all, to put it plain and simple, it is all bullshit. Like, everything you see on social media is bullshit. You cannot believe it. You gotta focus on your real life. And whenever you're posting your pictures and you're putting filters on them and editing these videos and other stuff and yada yada yada, all of that, it can really make you, it takes you out of your own life. It really does. It'll take you out of your own life that you have going on, to where you have relationships and people you should be worrying about, and jobs and all this other stuff going on. But you be so focused, or I was so focused on trying to make it big on social media and getting the damn Gymshark sponsorship, that I would ignore all these other responsibilities. And that comes with, I think that comes with maturity and knowing yourself, and also some self-love in there, self-love and knowing yourself and all that. And there is definitely a good middle ground, healthy balance of social media use. And I've slowly kind of dipped my toe back into posting on social media again, and using social media, my social media platform, more as like an outlet to express myself, or creativity. Like, that's why I do this podcast, is because it's something I've always wanted to do. And these are my homies that also enjoy the same passion that I enjoy. So, like, why not do that little creative thing right there? And instead of making it about, let me get all these likes and stuff, it's like, let me just do something I love, and whatever comes out of it just comes out of it. And that's kind of how I see social media. And like Gunnar was saying with the I don't know if it's Gunnar or Dom, but one of y'all said something about using social media to see your progress. I think it was Dom.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of using social media as, like, I guess the word is like a journal or a diary, something like that, to where you can actually go back in time and like forget about who likes your shit. Like, screw that. Like, that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. But to be able to see your own progress over time, and the people that actually do care about you can also go back and see that. Like, It'll always be there. So,
dude, yes.
No, go ahead.
That's exact. I was actually mentioning Dom last night while we was talking about today. All my posts are still archived, and I was like going through them, and I was just, dude, it was hyping me up so much.
Yeah.
It's crazy because looking at myself now, looking at me 6 months ago, I look freaking amazing. But 6 months ago, I thought I was mediocre. Like, my mindset of what I looked like has completely changed from seeing pictures that I haven't seen in forever. It just blew my mind. I was like, damn, I can look that good again. 100%, I can look that good again. It had me hyped.
I mean, yeah, that's a great part about social media, is you can go back and look at yourself from the past. Like, I mean, you can do that with pictures on your damn camera roll anyways, but not only can you see them, but everybody else can see them too. Anybody that gives a shit about you can go back and see that kind of stuff. And it's pretty awesome when, like, it's been a minute and maybe you are losing some motivation, and you can go back and see how far you have come actually. And when that puts everything into perspective, that lights a whole other fire under you. Like, that stuff will make you want to grind harder than anything else. When you see how far you've come, and this goes back to what Gunnar said in probably episode 1, it makes you remember your why. Like, actually, why you started and why you continue. And I think that is one of the great parts about social media. But at the same time, you have to not worry about getting likes and worry about what other people are doing. Just worry about yourself on social media. Worry about how you're doing, not how somebody else is doing. Not saying don't give a shit about nobody. It's just like, you can't overly think about it. You gotta have a healthy relationship, in quotes, with social media. But I mean, I think we can go into talking about ways to have a healthy relationship with social media, actually. Like,
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I don't know how to transition to this part, but some good ways that have helped me stay off social media. Obviously, just deleting the apps. Period. That's the biggest number one thing. But if you're just wanting to wean yourself off of it and use it a little less, I would say this goes for any addiction, because it honestly becomes an addiction with social media. I would say this with any addiction. But you gotta find a hobby and other things to do to replace that time you would be on social media. Replace that time you'd be thinking about social media. Replace that time you'd be editing your pictures for social media. Like, there's so many more important things you could be taking care of than doing something like that. So, Dom, I guess we'll move on to you. Well, I want to know what you think.
Well, besides deleting the app, I was gonna say still people going up to me like in person and saying like, "Hey, I saw your video. Yeah, I saw your picture. You know, you're looking good. Like, keep it up." And so, like, encouragement, technically. Like, I thought that's how to stay healthy in social media for me. And also, like, getting comments as well saying like, like, "Oh, you're looking big, you're looking good," and just encouraging me. Really, that's the only thing I can really think of. And that's like making me want to keep going. And like, especially, I guess my best friend that goes to the gym as well here in Fitness Factory. He's always encouraging me, always giving me tips, like just telling me to keep doing it. Be consistent. Even though that is really tiring, just be consistent. And like, get on social media and commenting, liking everybody's posts. But still, like, the encouragement really does help a lot. And that's why I really haven't stopped yet or like deleted social media. So yeah, and like really just like ignore the haters as well. Like, don't like stop listening to everyone else. Stop caring what everyone else says about you. So I was saying that, oh, you just waste your time and all that. Like, at the gym when I be recording, like, it's up to young people, but most like grown men. Like, they be looking at me weird while I'm recording with my tripod out and everything. Like, I just ignore them. I'm trying to do what I like doing. So yeah, just the encouragement really helps me a lot. It helps me out a lot. So that's just me. That's one thing. That's the only way I could think of, like, being healthy and having a healthy relationship in social media. So
I think I can understand both sides, your side and anybody's side that's like gets annoyed by it. I totally get it. Like, if somebody wants to be annoyed, they have every right to be annoyed. That's fine. But you also have every right to do what you enjoy. And if you do find joy in posting on social media and doing shit like that, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting joy out of that. Like, if that's what your hobby is, or that's your pastime or whatever, like, that's dope. Do it to it. But be the best you can be on that platform. Like, absolutely, 100%. But like, at the same time, you can't get yourself wrapped up in what other people think. Like you were saying, Don.
Yeah.
You just gotta focus on you.
Yeah. Really, just focus on you. Don't worry about what other people says about you. Just do you. Do what makes you happy.
Exactly. I think that's a huge point. I think that's a huge point right there. To do what makes you happy, not do what's going to make somebody else think something else about you. Do what's something that is going to actually fulfill you, not make somebody think, "Oh, this dude is, I don't know, whatever." Like, you just got to do it to make you happy, and not do it for the wrong reasons. Like, people that starve for attention on social media, I've seen countless of those. I don't feel like I was ever like that, really, but I have seen people like that, and I feel like that's the wrong way to go about it, because that's an easy way to fall into a whole different pitfall of social media, is whenever you're like the type that is looking for the validation on social media. and not doing it out of just the love of doing it. Like, I totally understand enjoying the whole process of filming your workouts, editing the video down, getting the right angles and all that, and I totally get all that. But there is a point where you can be doing it for the wrong reasons, which leads you down a whole different path of problems. And this just falls back to just having a healthy relationship with it. And I think Gunner probably has some good ideas about how to keep everything at bay with social media if he wants to get into it.
Yeah, so something I was thinking about was while y'all were talking about that is what's cool about taking a huge break from social media is when you get back on it, you get to realize just how much dopamine releases from it. Mm-hmm. So like the first time I got back on Instagram and I started scrolling through like gym memes and lifting videos, I was on there for 45 minutes straight, just like laughing. I had a great time. I will not lie, and it showed me real quick, and I almost deleted it right then. I was like, "Yo, this is why I deleted it." But like, I just kept scrolling, laughing at stuff, and it's cool because now I have notifications turned off. Everything's turned off, and like I'll get on there to share the podcast or share one of y'all's posts. But I mean, other than that, minimalizing my use of it makes me, I guess you would say, appreciate it so much more when I am on it. So like when I am on Instagram, I have much more positive experiences if I get on there once a day versus if I'm on there all day long. It's really, to me, it's a lot more healthy for myself. Like I got like right now is like once a day usually, and I still haven't been on there yet. I'll get on there when I get back from the gym. But it's like I'll get on there, I'll share Dom's post, or I'll like Dom's post, share Kel's or Kobe's post, and it like brings me joy because I'm seeing all this positive stuff. Versus if I'm on there all day long, I'm bound for negativity. At some point, I'll see someone bigger than me. I'll see some guy with his girlfriend working out together, which anyway. And then like you'll see someone on gear who looks 3 times bigger than you'll ever be, and it makes you a little upset. Like it's hard not to get upset. But when I get on there now, I see the boys posting, I get to share the podcast, and like most of the people I follow now is like informational content. So I mean, like I have my own, I have the Instagram set up to where I get the least amount of negativity out of it as I can. Just because, I mean, the last thing I want to do is get addicted to social media again, after being away from it for so long, because I won't lie, my life is so much more productive without it. Like I was kind of scared to start one for the podcast just because I knew I'd be able to scroll through an Instagram feed. But out of the benefit for the podcast, I'm doing one. I'm just going to have to learn to be responsible with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think you got to manage it. Like I said earlier, you have to manage social media like you do any addiction, and social media can absolutely be an addiction. Like I don't care what anybody says, it can absolutely become an addiction, just like anything else can be. Too much usage of it can absolutely become an addiction because your brain, like Gunnar said, is constantly releasing so much dopamine from it. And when you're away from it, all that dopamine drops. And when you get back on it, it's like spikes again. You're suddenly in a toxic relationship with a fucking app on your phone.
Yep.
And I think recognizing that too is a huge key. Like realizing when you have an actual problem with it and taking charge and being like, bro, okay, I got to do something about this. Like, I know my biggest thing was obviously delete the app. You can now hide apps on the iPhone. Like I hide the app on my iPhone anyways. I get on there I get on Instagram maybe once, twice a day, sometimes not at all. And usually the only time I get on there, it's like I'm going to see news, I'm going to see gym memes, funny gym memes, or anything that applies to benefiting my knowledge on training and working out and dieting and all that. Like those are my 3 biggest things that I do on social media is to laugh at funny gym memes or just memes, period. Share those memes with my friends. Gain more knowledge. I think that's what the internet should be used for anyways, is a tool for knowledge. And what does that say? Oh, inspirational. Okay, I want to say inspirational figures too. Like somebody you actually look up to and like have a lot of respect for, because one way or another you feel like you can relate to them. I think that's also good to have too, to have like, and it's not really about how you physically being inspired by them, but like I get inspired by, let's see, what am I trying to look for? Like a warrior's mindset. Like I really love the idea of like not tolerating bullcrap and like grinding for your own stuff. Like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'm going down a whole different rabbit hole. Anyways, yeah, you just gotta have a healthy, smooth relationship with social media.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I mean, shout out Kel Koger. His 2 only Instagram posts have motivated me to go to the gym twice now. Like the day he posted that first photo, I wasn't gonna go until I saw his photo, and I was like, "Crap! Now I gotta go." And then just a few, I guess, was it last night or this morning? At some time he posted again, then a transformation photo where I was like, "Oh my gosh! Now I definitely gotta go." He's been putting in the work, it makes me feel bad. I'm like, I gotta catch up to that. Like.
See, that's inspiration right there.
Someone close, yeah.
That's inspiration. Like that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're gonna have somebody inspire you to want to be better for yourself. I think that's a great use for social media. And I think we've talked really negatively about social media so far. More negative than positive, but I think at the same time,
it's a good thing though.
There are a lot of benefits to social media. Like it's called social media for a reason, because you can socialize with people you can't normally connect to. Like I think that's a great part. You can get yourself out there more. Like there's so many good sides. You can build a business on social media. You can, like I was saying earlier, you can be creative on social media, be artistic. so many positive sides to it. But back to that, having an unhealthy addiction or whatever you want to call it with social media, it can really affect you if you don't find a good way to I honestly feel like getting that creativity out. If you don't find a good way to get creativity out, you can really be sucked into a hole of getting addicted to social media. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but
also like one thing that no one has said, like you don't really know if like the influencers or like the famous social media people are like really just acting their self. Like maybe that's just their fake self, just to get followers, just to get famous. So like, just be yourself. Don't be like some of these people that just do it for attention. Just be yourself.
Exactly. I think it does come down to a lot of it comes down to being yourself, Dom. Like I really do.
That's unhealthy. Like not being yourself is unhealthy. So
if you can't be yourself,
like Liver King, like Liver King.
Oh yeah, I mean you saw the situation he ended up in.
Yeah. Yep. He was not being himself.
I got a conspiracy theory on that, but we can get into that another day. I personally feel like he exposed himself on purpose so he could stop having the burden of being this fake natty. Because think about it.
Like, who eats the stuff that he eats?
If you're a fake natty on social media and your entire message is that you built this physique on whatever bullshit logic train you're pushing down the road, When you're obviously not, is that not going to affect you mentally? Is that not going to like break you down and wear you down over time? Because it absolutely would. Like, there's no way it doesn't. Like, when you know you are lying to people, is what I'm saying. When you know you're bold-faced lying to people about yourself and maybe not your products. Your products are probably, I think his products are pretty decent. But when you're lying about yourself and how you attain that kind of stuff, I think that shit will affect you mentally. And that's how you end up in another situation of just a bad situation with social media when you can't be yourself. Get a lie.
Maybe, hopefully, with this podcast, though, we can help people to know the Liver Kings and point them out and see them. You know, because how many kids do you, like, how many 12 to 15 to maybe even 16-year-old kids did believe he was natural? And then he exposed himself. Even if they're like, well, he was honest about it, they're still going to be like, dang, I thought he actually did that. I thought I could have been like him.
Heck, I was like
I
that.
follow the 9 ancestral tenets.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. The ancestral bullshit. What I like to call it. Yeah. I do think that's like if you want to live that type of lifestyle, like you can probably get some benefits out of it, no doubt. But like pushing that as if that's all you did to get where you are. No, bro, that's not it. Not it at all. Wrong message to send to anybody, knowing that you're lying. It's messed up.
Isn't his theme is like living like a caveman or something?
Something like that.
Basically.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Like, no.
Living like a Neanderthal. I mean, is there anything else y'all want to talk about as far as this goes? Yeah,
that was a really good talk. That was a really good talk.
It was.
It was kind of deep. It was too deep.
It was very deep.
Well, hopefully, we didn't like make y'all like hate social media or anything like that, or like look bad on social media. So
I didn't want to do this podcast trying to shine a negative light on social media, because you can shine negativity on anything at all at any point. And if you want to look at negative things, that's fine. But there's also positive things in anything. So you gotta find the positive. Find the positive, find the negative, be aware of both, and find a healthy middle ground of how to make yourself, how to find happiness, you know?
yes.
Yeah.
And I guess
I think that's a good close right there, man. Just find what makes you happy, and it's hard to sometimes notice. You know, it's gonna sound weird, but it's hard to find if something is draining your happiness from you, because it happens over time. It doesn't happen all at once. You just gotta test it out. You kind of gotta do experiments, just like you gotta do it with a diet. You gotta take stuff out, put stuff into your life. And you gotta see what works.
just like you do with workouts. Some workouts don't work for some people. Some workouts do. If it doesn't work for you, that's okay. Try something else. It's not the end of the world. You gotta find what's gonna make you happy in the long term, and it's not. Find what's gonna make you happy long term, not short term. Period.
Right.
And don't let the negative things get in your head.
Yep. Negativity can eat you alive. Your own negative thoughts, negative inner self-talk will eat you alive. I've had it happen to me. I'm sure these two fellas over here have had it happen to them, and it's not something you want to a pitfall you want to go into. It's really not. It's not worth it. So, heed advice and do your best and live your best life and enjoy what you do and try to find peace and happiness. That goes for the gym, social media, your life in general, relationships, everything. Like, gotta have a healthy balance with everything. And I guess Gunner's muted right now. I guess we can end it right there. We're about 40 minutes deep. Any closing thoughts from anybody? Any closing thoughts?
Nah, you said it all, man. That was good.
Right.
No, bro, you did the closing justice.
Yeah, appreciate it.
About shed a tear or two.
Anyways, hopefully our 10 listeners have picked something up from this podcast and can incorporate it in their lives and make their life a little better, or find something to actually help them, because I know how much social media can affect you, and the good, the bad, the ugly. I've been there. We've all been there. You're not alone. Yada, 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 all that. And I guess we can end it there. So appreciate y'all tuning in this week. Everybody, send their deuces.
Peace. Safe. Peace out.
Peace out. And that was this week's edition of the Weekend Warriors podcast. Thanks for tuning in. If you've made it this far, please leave us a rating. Check out our Instagram page at weekend_warriors_podcast if you like the show. And thanks again for tuning in. We'll be back at you next week.